How the camel got his hump.
In the very beginning of the world, when all the animals were just learning to work for humans, there lived a camel in the middle of a vast, howling desert. Now, this camel was, to put it mildly, exceptionally lazy. He didn't want to do any work at all. The horse, ever so diligent, would come galloping up to the camel, saying, "Camel, oh camel, come trot like the rest of us." And the camel, without even turning his head, would simply reply, "Humph," and go back to chewing on his thorny desert bushes. Then the dog, with his wagging tail and eager bark, would approach the camel, "Camel, oh camel, come fetch and carry like the rest of us." Again, the camel would only grunt, "Humph," and continue his lazy lounging.
Finally, the strong ox, with his patient eyes and sturdy horns, would come to the camel, "Camel, oh camel, come plough like the rest of us." But the camel, with a flick of his long neck, would only say, "Humph," and ignore the ox completely.
This went on for days, and the horse, the dog, and the ox were growing more and more frustrated.
They couldn't understand why the camel wouldn't help. So, they went to the human, who was in charge of all the animals, and told him about the camel's laziness.
The human, quite annoyed, said, "You three must work double time to make up for the camel's idleness." This made the three animals even more upset. They held a council and decided to call upon the jinn of all the deserts, the one who was in charge of all the desert spirits.
The jinn, a large and powerful being, appeared in a cloud of dust and asked, "What is the matter, my friends?"
The horse, the dog, and the ox explained about the lazy camel and his constant humph. The jinn, with a thoughtful look, said, "The humph. Let me deal with him." The jinn found the camel lounging as usual and said, "You've said a humph too many times, my friend. You've missed 3 days of work, and now you must make up for it."
As the jinn spoke, the camel's back began to swell, and a large, lumpy hump appeared.
"This," said the jinn, "is your very own humph. You will now be able to work for 3 days without eating, because you can live on your hump. But never again say that you did not deserve it. Now go to work."
And from that day on, the camel always had a hump, and he learned to work like the other animals, though he never quite caught up with the 3 days he had missed. And even to this day, they say, the camel always says,
"Humph." Not to be rude, but just to remind himself of his past laziness. The story teaches a lesson about the importance of work and the consequences of laziness.
It also explains, in a fantastical way, why camels have humps. Essentially, it is a story that explains how the camel came to have its hump, and that the hump is a direct result of the camel's unwillingness to work.